The key retail indicators for Denison: taxable sales, slight decrease from 2013. Number of reporting firms, slight decrease. Population, increase of 1.6%. Average sales per firm, slight increase. And average sales per capita, a slight decrease. Total taxable retail sales and number of reporting firms in Denison. The red line is sales in millions of dollars, and so we have a 10-year spread here. We see a decrease in '07. We see the decrease from the recession in 2010, and then it inches upward 2011 and 12, and a slight decrease in 2013. Keep in mind these are taxable retail sales. And the blue line is reporting firms, and that peaked out 319 firms in 2009, and then it also has seen a slight decrease all the way through to 2013. The next chart is taxable retail sales per capita. With the real sales per capita in the left-hand column, you can see 2004, about $12,500 per person as far as retail sales. This is comparison. The red bar is Denison and the blue is state of Iowa. So back in 2004, we were actually spending more per capita than the average for the state of Iowa, and then that decreased and decreased, and then it was about the same in 2007, 8, and 9, and then the recession hit. And pay attention to this part of it, because typically this is what we see in gross retail sales for a lot of cities. There's a huge drop, as you see in this blue line between '09 and 2010. And if you look at the back couple of slides, you'll notice we didn't see that drop in Denison, to your credit. And so you just kind of flatlined right on through it. I mean, you had some decreases, but nothing like what you see here. And so we're back to 2010, 11, and 12, where we're spending more than per capita in Denison than the state of Iowa. And then we're back to about normal as far as state of Iowa. We're just about the same there in 2013. There could be a couple of reasons for this. One could be that the median income is less in Denison over the last few years, or there's a little bit of leakage and people are going elsewhere for their taxable retail sales shopping. The population trends, and we're using 2003 as our baseline. The solid blue red line is Denison, and the dotted red line is Crawford County, and the dotted blue line is state of Iowa. So you can see that Denison has outperformed both these other categories, and actually pretty substantially between 2011 and 2013. This is not something we typically see in a population of this size, and so something is going on in Denison. This is a peer group listing of the top 10 in this peer group, of which Denison is a part of. As you can see, West Burlington, Williamsburg, Spirit Lake, and those are kind of obvious per capita sales, and the reason why they're sitting on top with a pretty small population. You have Denison per capita sales with 11,367 with a population of 8,000. And so it's a little bit better than the state of Iowa, but it's a ways below the peer group ranking. And in the full bulletin, you'll see a number of peer group relationships. Estimated trade area capture. In this chart, we're looking at estimated shoppers. So that left-hand column is actually populations of shoppers. The blue line is the population of Denison. So you can see in 2013, that blue line is 8,498. But when we bundle up the total retail sales for a typical shopper, we actually see that we're drawing in more than the population of Denison. So the red line is indicating a number of shoppers. So in this case, in 2013, we're actually drawing in 9,710, which is more than Denison has. So the reason is typically we either have an increase in median wage, or we actually are drawing in from outside areas, and we'll talk about pull factor in a minute, but we're drawing shoppers in from outside of the Denison population. This chart is actually showing a pull factor indicator or leakage indicator, depending upon the situation, whether the break even, if it's above 1 or below 1. So what's happening here is that the blue dash is the peer median. Remember, we talked about the peer medians earlier in the chart. And so this is the average of all those pull factors. And then Denison is the red dot. And so you can see in 2004, we're just above the peer median, and then in 2013 we're just right on that peer median. And so for Denison it's 1.04, and you can kind of think of this that we're actually pulling in 14% more than the population of Denison, and so we're actually drawing people or pulling people into. If the ratio was 0.9, that means people are probably going elsewhere to do the shopping. But in this case, you have a retail trade center here in Denison, and so the goal is always to increase this factor, and currently it's at 1.14. This is a chart of neighboring community comparisons of per capita retail sales. And so you see at the top of the list here is Ida Grove with a population of 2,104, but their per capita sales is 13,601. Second position is Denison, and then Dunlap, Manning, Odebolt, and on down the line. But these are some of the surrounding areas, and these are the people you're actually competing with as far as your retail shops in that particular neighborhood. This is a chart of worker inflows and outflows for 2011. The blue arrow on the left-hand side, 3,441, is actually employed in Denison and then living elsewhere. The circle is indicating 1,991. They're employed and living in Denison, and then the red arrow to the right is living in Denison and employed elsewhere. And so Denison is attracting a large percentage of people into Denison for their processing and manufacturing areas. And you might ask yourself, well, then why don't they go ahead and try to encourage those people, those 3,441 workers and their families, to come live in Denison? I think you'll see that that's exactly what they're trying to do here in this next slide. So there's a great potential for them to actually grow and continue to grow. If you go to Denison's webpage, you'll find this streetscape plan, and so they are trying to attract people into Denison to make the downtown area more pleasant and more attractive. And so they have actually I believe they have monthly minutes for the meetings of the streetscape where you can go through and see what's currently being done. But yes, they are trying to attract these people to come into Denison, and this is just one of the areas that they're working on. This chart showing the races in Denison, Iowa. As you can see, the white population is about 54%, and the Hispanics 44%. So anytime you're dealing in retail spaces, you need to keep in mind the diversity that is going on here in Denison. Hello, my name is Ron Prescott. I'm with Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. A number of communities have asked for the Iowa Trade Analysis reports, and they can be found at the following webpage, icip.iastate.edu/retail. And those PDF files can be downloaded for both county and cities in Iowa. This is a short video report that some of the communities have asked for, and so it generally lasts less than 5 minutes and can be requested by the email during the closing slide. So I hope you enjoy the video and gain some information from it.